All right, here we are with Senator Ted Cruz, the good senator from Texas. Welcome.
James, great to be with you. Thank you for having me.
All right, Senator Cruz, I want to start with how would you grade Trump's first 100 days, or at least Trump 2.0 in his first 100 days?
Look, I would give it an A plus. I have to say it has been extraordinary in the history of our country. We have never seen a president hit the ground running as fast as President Trump has, and who has accomplished as much as he has. And there's a big difference, I think, between the second term and the first term. I think the second term, the president came in knowing exactly what he wanted to do and knowing exactly how he wanted to do it. And every day now, I literally wake up and grab my phone and go look to see, okay, what did we do today? Because it has been the record of accomplishment has been astonishing. Let's take, for example, the border. There was no bigger issue in the election last year than securing the border. The single clearest mandate that came out of the election in November was to secure the border. We have seen, since Donald Trump became president again, illegal border crossings drop over 95%. It is staggering. And my favorite line from the president's State of the Union address is he said, Joe Biden said last year that he could not secure the border unless Congress passed new legislation. Well, we didn't need new legislation. It turns out we just needed a new president. And that's exactly right. And it's been incredible what's gotten accomplished so far. And I'm excited what the next 3.5 years have to hold.
Well, there's a lot of action going on right now with the tariffs. Your colleague in the Senate, Elizabeth Warren, says all of this tariff stuff can be undone and overridden by Congress if they vote in favor of it. Do you think that's at risk of happening?
I don't. And I got to say, typically any quick question that begins with Elizabeth Warren says that, you're not going to find a whole lot of wisdom in the words that follow that. She manages to be wrong on just about everything. Listen, when it comes to tariffs, that has been an area of massive change, and there has been some real uncertainty that has been caused, and this is something I've talked about a great deal. I think there are two paths in front of us for where we can go on tariffs. Path number one is I think the president, with the tariffs he's announced, has enormous leverage now over our trading partners. And what I hope will happen is that we will use that leverage to negotiate much, much lower tariffs from our trading partners in exchange for the president lowering tariffs he just announced. If that happens, if in the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, the result is we see tariffs worldwide dramatically cut, that would be a massive free market victory for the president, for the United States, for Texas. That would benefit Texas farmers and ranchers and manufacturers and small businesses. I hope that's the path we take. Now, James, I will see there is a second path we could take. And there are voices in the administration advocating for this second path. And that is a path that leaves in place high tariffs in perpetuity, high tariffs from America, and in response, high retaliatory tariffs from our trading partners. I very much hope we do not go down that path, because if we do, I think that would hurt Texas and it would hurt the country. It would hurt our farmers, our ranchers, our small businesses, our manufacturers. So I can tell you, I spend a lot of time with President Trump. I was with the president on Air Force One this weekend. We went down to the UFC fight, which was incredible.
What, the one in Miami, that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
how cool is that?
Awesome. That was spectacular. But we talked about tariffs a lot. And what I urged him then and what I've urged him repeatedly is use the leverage to win a massive victory for opening up markets across the world to American goods. And doing that will be an extraordinary victory for Texas.
Well, I think one of the legislative priorities we're all watching the most, because it affects pretty much everyone listening, is extending the Tax Cut and Jobs Act from 2017. It expires at the end of the year. I know your political opposition isn't going to roll over and just give it to you for nothing. Do they have an argument against it, or are they asking for something in return for passing it? What's the situation with the tax cuts being extended?
Well, so the beauty of it is that the Democrats sadly, are adamantly opposed to cutting taxes. They want to raise taxes on everybody. They are a tax and spend party. That's what they believe. But the beauty, the good news is that we are using a procedural tool that we don't need a Democrat vote. That's all going to vote no, and that's fine because we can pass it with the Republican votes we have. We're using something that's called budget reconciliation. Now that sounds like a bunch of Washington gobbledygook. The only thing important to know about that is budget reconciliation is the principal exception to the Senate filibuster rule. The Senate filibuster rule requires 60 votes in the Senate ordinarily against legislation. Now, since we only have 53 Republicans, if you got to get 60 votes, you need 7 Democrats. I give Democrats the ability to hold us hostage and block really good things. Well, budget reconciliation, we can pass just using 50 votes. So that's going to be the mechanism that we use to extend the tax cuts. We're going to make them bigger and bolder. That's going to be the mechanism we use to secure the border. We're going to invest in building the wall and hiring Border Patrol and ICE and technology. We're going to secure the border. That's also going to be the method we use to rebuild our military, and we're going to use it to unleash American energy and Texas oil and gas. And so all of that we can get done without needing to get a single Democrat vote, which is good because the Democrats today, that they really are the party of anger and hate. They no longer stand for policies. They just hate Donald Trump. And so it's incumbent on us not to complain about that, but to roll up our sleeves and get to work and deliver on our promises to the voters.
Yeah, and along that line, I'm wondering where the question's going to get answered on how many swastikas you can go draw without being a Nazi yourself.
It's a very good point, but I got to say the nice thing is these leftist vandals are also proving they really are imbeciles. I mean, they're complete morons. They come up in key cars, Teslas, that have cameras everywhere. They go up to a camera and they smile on the camera and vandalize it. And I got to say, the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, who's a good friend, the new Attorney General, she's announced that they've arrested some of the criminals who were firebombing Tesla dealerships, and they're going to seek 40 years in prison. If you engage in domestic terrorism, you are going to face hard jail time. That is exactly right. And it is sad to see the left condoning violence, the angry left engaging in acts of violence, to condemn it, in some cases celebrating those acts of violence.
All right, Senator Ted Cruz, thank you very much for your time on the James Show. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, James. I appreciate it. By the way, everyone go to tedcruz.org and follow me, sign up there, and also make sure you download and listen to my podcast, Verdict with Ted Cruz. We talk about every major issue facing the country. So download Verdict with Ted Cruz wherever you get your podcast.
Oh, I'll go look that up. Thank you very much. There he is, Senator Ted Cruz, the good senator from Texas on the James Show. Thank you, sir.